Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a filming setup review. I'm kind of going to show you like what things I use, how I use them, kind of like a background of what goes on in my videos. By no means I'm saying I'm like the most successful YouTuber, because you can definitely see that right below, but I do take a lot of time into reading a lot of things, watching a lot of videos, and comparing a lot of products before I purchase them. And I definitely take into account price tags when I am purchasing something. I do want the best quality, but I also don't want to, you know, spend a lot of money. I do hope that this is helpful for anybody that's on a budget or is trying to improve their video quality, and yeah, that's the reason I'm doing it, and I hope this is just helpful for anybody. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Sheila. I upload videos Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, so be sure to subscribe below. I really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's just get on to it. Okay, so I'm going to be filming with my iPhone because it's the only thing I have other than my camera, which I'm using right now, and I'm just going to do an overview of how my room looks when I'm filming, because I do film in my room. I don't know if you can see, like, that's my side table and this is my bed. I do flip things around, like I'll use different corners of my room depending on how I'm feeling, but mostly I like this better because I have this big door right here and it opens, so I have like all this natural light coming in, which I actually like really like. I prefer natural lighting to these lights, but in my apartment it's really hard to get that natural lighting, especially because I have a balcony here. Let me just switch to my iPhone and then just show you guys an overview of my lighting and all that stuff. Okay guys, so this is how it looks when I am filming. This is my lighting over here. As you can see, I have one big light on the top. I have this two sub boxes on the side. I have this ring light over here. Then I have my tripod and my camera set up right here. So it looks like that. I have this desk and my chair on the back. So I got these lights off of Amazon. They're Flora X. I'm going to link everything down below so you can see it. So before I had this set up, I did have only two sub boxes and the ring light, but I decided to just spend a little bit more money and get myself a really good set. This came with this two sub boxes, this sub box on the top, which I really like. Then it came with like a background that you can put a green background on, or white or black, but I did not get those out because I didn't feel like I needed them. But I'm going to show you in a second a really affordable way to actually do that. So this is the camera that I have. I have the Canon EOS Rebel T6i. It looks like this, and I have the Rode mic, as you can see on the top right here. And then this tripod I got at Best Buy. As I said, I'm going to link everything down below, but I did buy the creator kit on this camera. It brought the camera, the Rode mic, which I think is really cool, and then he brought this lens over here. This is an EFS 18 to 55 millimeter, and I was using this for a long time before I decided to get two more lenses, and I'm going to show you in a second what those are. So as you can see from this side, there's a lot of light coming in, and the ring light, I do have it set up to the side to make up for all the natural lighting that comes from this when I open it up, because there's a lot of light coming to my right side and not enough on the left side. I do not have it in front of my camera because I don't feel like I need it, and I'm going to show you in a second why I think that. So as you can see, there's a really big mess. This is what happens when you're filming beauty videos. I feel like anyone can relate. I do have my mirror, and then I have this really cool thing that I got recently, and I am absolutely loving. So I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but as you can see, I can see everything that is happening on the camera as of now, and I can see what my ISO is set up to, I can see what my F is set up to, and I can see if I'm on focus. So I can see, like, if I'm on focus and then I show a product up on the camera, it would definitely just drift, and I can see it right here. I really like that. There's some things that I do not like about this, and it is the fact that when I plug this in, the viewfinder on my camera doesn't work anymore. So that means that when I want to change the ISO or anything like that, I have to unplug it, change the settings as if I want them to, and then go back and plug it back in. So that's a little bit of like a hassle for me, but it's not like too bad. I guess I can deal with that. Okay, so I do have another small ring light that I bought for my camera on Amazon, but for some reason I just didn't like how that looked. Let me show it to you because I do have it. So this is how it looks like. It's a ring flash, and you just put it on the lens on your camera. You like hook it in there, and then it has this like remote control that comes with it, and you can like set up to different lightings as you want them. I'm currently not using them, but I did decide to keep it just because I don't know when this might be helpful to me. This is how it looks on the side. And I really like this tripod. It's very sturdy. Before this one, I had tripods that were very affordable, and you can definitely tell the difference between this one and the other one. Tripod from Best Buy, and I believe it retails for like $70 or $79, something like that. Now this light on the top is very heavy, so you definitely have to put some things in there. That brings it like this little bag over here, and I just have some weight, like some 5-pound weights. I believe I have like about 25 pounds in there, so it's definitely very sturdy. So even if I do this, you can see that it's like flipping a little bit, but it's going nowhere, because you definitely do not want something that could fall and potentially break your camera, because that did happen before and I had to get my camera fixed. This ring light is just a 12. I do like it. I did buy the 18-inch one because I thought I would need all that lighting, but when I bought it, it was just like a little bit ridiculous. I'd sometimes find myself turning it off because I have too much light. So I decided to just return it and stay with the 12 because I do like that one better for pictures. So now I'm gonna go back to the camera and just talk to you guys about the lenses I use and all that. Alright guys, so let's talk lenses. I'm gonna start with the one that the creator kit brings with the camera and the mic, because I feel like if some of you want to start with that, that's very affordable. It's a really good lens, because I feel like if some of you want to start by just having that is perfect. I feel like you would get very good quality videos with that. I mean, I know I did, and I really enjoyed taking pictures with it, and it's just a really good lens to start with. So this is the EFS 18 to 55 millimeter. Now I do want to say something. I know that lenses are very expensive. That is why I chose 3 that are the most affordable ones, and you still get that Canon quality. I know I don't have $2,000 to spend on a lens, so that's why I decided to go with this 2 lenses that I'm going to show. So let's just go ahead and start with this one. This is an 18 by 55, and it does have image stabilizer. This is something really good when you're making videos and you definitely don't have a tripod, or you have it set somewhere where like the camera wiggles a little, or if you're doing vlogging and you're just holding it with your hand, you definitely want image stabilizer, because that would help the video quality a lot. You're not gonna like just have a video that's like shaking all the time. So I don't remember what the F is on this one, but I believe it's like 5 or 5.6 or something like that. That is really high. So with this one, that's the only factor that I disliked. For me to put this one on like a blurry background like I have it right now, I had to put the ISO on 1600, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, every time I say that to someone, they're like, what? That meant that I had to like lower the quality on my image. Things didn't look as sharp, just so I could have that blurry background. And I really dislike that, so that's why when I went to buy my next lens, I did make sure that the F was very like way lower than that. I actually don't remember if this was like a 4 or 5.6 or something like that, but that was definitely what I had to do to blur my background. So the good thing about this lens is that you can like zoom in and out, obviously from 18 to 55. That is a really long range, so you can get you way closer than this one to 55, and you can zoom out way more than this to 18, which is a really good thing. That's a really good range to have. So I did use this for like almost 2 years. I haven't done YouTube for 2 years, but I was taking pictures and stuff like that, and I really like this lens. This is a really good first starter, and that's why I was really happy that I got it with this kit. I believe the kit retails for like $1,600 or something like that, so that was a really good price point to get the 3 things that you do get. Other than that, you do have to buy the lighting and the tripod, but there's things that you can do to get around that. I mean, you can start with natural lighting, which is actually better than the studio lights, in my opinion. They get you more accurate colors, and I really like that. Now, when I want to choose a camera, I definitely chose Canon because of that. Number 1, the lenses are better, in my opinion. Number 2, the colors in Canon are just absolutely amazing. And number 3, I've had Canon in the past, and their customer service is amazing. Every time you need something fixed, the prices are not ridiculous, and they do come back with good answers every time. That is something that you don't think about, because cameras are so expensive that is something you want to have in consideration and take in consideration. Now, there's some things that I don't have in my kit yet, and that is, I've seen people use like this Canon utility software or something like that. You can like see yourself, change the colors and stuff like that. I do want to play around with that. I haven't yet, because I just got this little monitor over here, and I feel like that would be just too many things on my desk, and as you can see, my desk is pretty full at the moment, but I'm always looking for things to improve in my videos, and I definitely that would be something that I'm gonna look into really soon. So the next lens is my second lens that I purchased, and this is by Canon, and it's a 50 millimeter. So it retails for $125 on Best Buy. I did buy it for $150 on Amazon because I didn't know the price was actually lower than that, but now I know, and it is what it is. So it does bring the autofocus and the manual focus. That's definitely something that you do want to look for, because especially if you're doing beauty videos, if you're going to be zooming in and out of things and showing things to the screen, that is definitely something you want to look and take into consideration. So now that we have this one, I do want to talk about the F and how to get this blurry background. So you definitely want to have your ISO really low, to like 100 or 200. I do have it set on 200 in all my videos. Because you want that sharp image. You definitely want everything to look very sharp and very accurate to reality, and that is how you achieve that, with having the ISO very low. When you want to have the back blurred out, then you use the 1.f. What does that mean? The lowest f that your lens can get to, the more light is going to come into your lens. So even if I don't have all this light set up and I just have my ring light and I put this in 1.8, the image looks ridiculously white, to the point that like I'm washed out. So I really like that this goes to 1.8. I always have it in 2 or 2.5 because I feel like that's when the image looks the best, in my opinion. But you can definitely set it up to whatever you want. I just prefer that. So with all this 4 lights here, I put it on 2.5, and I still feel like I'm a little washed out, but not too much. And I definitely want my image to look very bright, very vibrant. I just feel like things would look more clean and better. If I do take these lights away, you can definitely see that this room is actually very dark. So this is it. It's very tiny. The only thing I dislike about this is that it makes so much noise when it's actually focusing, that the sound does show up in my videos, and that's something that I really dislike. Okay, so another thing about this lens, it is a fixed lens, meaning that you can just zoom in and out of an image. So as soon as you put this on your camera, that is assumed that you're gonna get, and it's very close. If I put it on right now, you'll probably get I believe like just this area right here, maybe my face. And I do have the camera set up very close to me, as you can see. You can definitely move the camera back and forth, which is what I was doing before I got this lens that's on the camera right now. But that is very annoying. Now the reason I chose a 50 is because I did want to have a very sharp image when I was doing eyeshadows, and this one definitely gets me there. I can definitely like zoom in. I can definitely put the camera in close enough for it to just concentrate on my eyes, and the image would look amazing. The colors would look amazing, and you could have that very sharp image when you're doing something on your eyes. Whether when I was doing it with this one, which was my original one, the 18 and 255, that did not happen. Things look a little bit blurry, and I just dislike that. It's definitely very affordable. I've heard a lot of things about it because people are like going crazy about this little lens. It's so affordable and gets you that really like high-end image. Okay, so now I'm gonna put in the 50mm on the camera so you can see how close it gets to my face without changing what the camera positioning is right now. And then I'm gonna show you the lens that I have on the camera as of now, which is my latest purchase. Okay, so you can see that is definitely a big change from what you were just seeing to a 50mm. So I'm just gonna like go back a little bit. You can see that it autofocuses very fast, so it's something really good. You can see that autofocus is very fast. I put this here. You're gonna see it drift to this very quickly, back to me, back to this, back to me. So that's something very good that you definitely want to look on a lens. Okay, so talking about this lens. This is by Canon, and this is the 28mm, and this is also a 1.8. So as it goes down in number, it definitely means that you're gonna have a wider range of frame. I really like this one. I purchased this one because I wanted to have something that would obviously give me like a full image of my room when I'm filming, and also I wanted this one for pictures because I felt like the 18 to 55 lens, I found myself not using it too much, and then I would go out and take pictures for Instagram with the 50mm, and it was just so annoying. So sometimes I go by myself and like put the tripod, or if someone was taking the picture of me, they had to stand like almost like 3 miles away just to get me entirely in the picture. So I was like, I do have to spend a little bit more and just get myself something that I can do pictures for Instagram or just pictures in general. So I feel like this one is a really good one. There's another alternative to this one. I don't know if it's a 1.8 or a 2.8 that is also in the same range as pricing. This one retails for $509. You can definitely find this one a little bit cheaper on eBay if you look for a really good option that's in really good condition. So this one also goes to the f1.8, which I really like. Again, I do use it on 2.0 or 2.8, but that's something that But if you're outside and it's kind of dark, that's something that you really want to take into consideration too if your lens goes really low. If you start going lower than 1.8, that is when the lenses get really expensive, like 1.4. So that is why I decided to purchase this one. 500 lens is a really good price point for a lens when you're talking about cameras, because things are just so expensive these days. So I really like this one. It has an autofocus and a manual focus too. Turn this to focus more, or like you can decide what it focuses into. This one also has a very fast autofocus, which I really like, and this one, my favorite thing about this one is that when it's focusing, it's not as loud as the 50mm. This is just so quiet and it's so perfect, and I really enjoy filming with this one. Things that people dislike about this one. Let's just talk about things that people dislike and things that are good for me. Now, when you talk about this lens to any photographer, most of them are going to tell you that this is not a good lens. And that's something that I disagree with, and the reason they're telling you that is because the sharpness of this lens is just in the center. Like, when you take a picture with it, you're gonna see the edges blurred out a little bit, and that is something that does not bother me. For the most part, for my purposes, I do like when it's blurred out on the edges, especially when it has a little bit of a vignette, and this one's gonna give you that. And for video, I felt like when I was watching the reviews and people were complaining about the sharpness being in the center and the blurriness being on the outside, I was like, well, that is perfect for me for like filming. That is exactly what I look for. That's exactly what I want. Do say that this is a bad lens, that it's, I mean, I disagree with you, I'm sorry, but for me, this is a great lens at a great price point, and I really enjoy it. So I feel like I've talked about lenses for a million years, so let's just talk about the camera just for a second, and then I think we're gonna wrap this video up. So when I was looking for cameras, I definitely went to the Rebel T's option because it's more affordable. I do have the T6i, but if you go back to numbers in the same model, they just keep it like improving year to year, you're gonna get the same thing. And some of those cameras you can get for like $500, $600, and this one I believe is like $900 by itself, just a body without a lens. For me, it's very good because I am the kind of person, like, I want a good camera, but also I want to spend more in the lens, because I believe that the lens actually gives you the image, not really the camera. I mean, the camera obviously has something to do with it, but the lens has more to do with how your image is going to come out, especially in video. So there's only one thing I dislike about this camera, and it's the fact that it's not so good in low light situations. So if you're outside and it's like 6 o'clock and you're like under trees or something, the image is gonna look very dark. Usually when I take pictures, they look very grainy when I try to fix them, and it's just like a dark spot over my face, and I really dislike that. So if you're thinking about getting a camera for vlogging, I wouldn't recommend this one if you don't know if you're gonna be in natural light the whole time. For the most part, I do really like this camera. It gives me like an hour and 15 minutes of filming, and then I have to recharge the battery. I am thinking about getting another battery because sometimes I do pre-film my videos just because I have too much things going on. So that's something that you do want to think about. If you are going to be pre-filming your videos, then you definitely want to go ahead and spend the $50 for an extra battery. But for the most part, I really enjoy this camera. I feel like it's a very good camera for beginners. If I were to change this one, I would probably go for a 70D or an 80D, but when I was thinking about either getting an 80D or getting new lenses, I definitely decided to go for new lenses because I would be in the same situation, because the only reason that I would like get a new camera would be for the low light situation. And as you can see, I film with all these lights around me, so if I focus mostly on videos, then yeah, I definitely want to spend more money on the lenses, not the camera. So now that you saw what I film with, it's pretty basic: 3 softboxes, my camera and my mic, some lenses, a tripod, and a ring light, which I usually don't use, and then this little monitor that I would definitely recommend if you're doing beauty videos. So one really cool thing I have is this thing from Amazon. I believe it was like $20 or maybe less than that, I don't remember, but it's this like remote control that I just use to take my pictures. I do film by myself, so I don't have anybody to help me, so things get really like, you do need help somehow. So I think that this remote control is perfect. I use this mostly when I have to take thumbnails or when I'm taking pictures outside for Instagram. So you set the camera for the remote control, and then you press on this, and as you can see, you're gonna see it now, it's gonna take a picture. So I do use that for thumbnails, so if you're looking for something like that, that is definitely something you want to check out. I am not a tech expert, and this is my first video talking about tech stuff, but I do hope that this was helpful to anybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, everything's going to be linked down below, so be sure to check it out. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!